Whew. We still got a lot to talk about. Hey everyone, I'm Abby Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. Today's video is sponsored by Cosmic Crisp Washington apples, and we are back with part 4 of our review of Jaclyn Hill's weight loss series.
She is on this crazy diet right now where she's eating only vegetables, literally only vegetables. Oh my God, look at the difference. Look at the difference in my face. Look at the difference that just diet can make. It already smells so good, you guys. All I've had today is 2 eggs and vegetables. It's about 6 o'clock right now. I'm a little shook by how good it is, and it's literally just veggies and shrimp. I'm officially 13 pounds down, which is crazy. I've literally turned into what I hate because I'm like, stop, people shouldn't be obsessing over the scale. Like, focus on the way you feel, focus on the way you look, focus on the way your jeans are fitting, and I'm like addicted to the scale now, and it's like ruining my mood. I'm just like, what is this?
But first, let me drop in here to tell you about my sponsor, Cosmic Crisp Apples. So, little known Abbey factoid, my nickname growing up was Abbey Appleseed because my mom said I want to eat apples every meal and snack. Not much has changed, so if you are apple obsessed like me, you will love my new go-to Cosmic Crisp Washington apples. I am all about a good crisp apple. Like if it's mealy, I don't want it. And these apples are super crispy and much sweeter than other varieties, plus they are naturally slower to brown. And that is key for me because my kids basically take 2 bites of an apple and then leave it on the counter. And if it's brown by the time they get back, they want a whole fresh one. So these are officially the apples of motherhood as far as I'm concerned. So for a little background, these apples were classically bred at Washington State University and are naturally non-GMO. They taste like a hybrid between the Enterprise and the Honeycrisp varieties, and they are perfect for snacking, cooking, or baking. We are currently putting them in just about everything over here. So if you want to try out Cosmic Crisp apples yourself, check out my link to learn more. And you can pause the screen or look at the description to check out my disclaimer, including a trigger warning to those with current or previous experiences with disordered eating. As always, please feel free to skip this video if it's not supportive to your journey. And of course, if you are new here, do not forget to subscribe to this channel and ring that bell so that you never miss out on an episode. And if you're not already, definitely head on over to Instagram and TikTok to follow me there at Abby's Kitchen. If you've been following along with our review of Jaclyn's series and missed out on our last episodes, you can check them out right here. But as a quick recap, I discussed some of my thoughts on some of the overarching themes that have stood out throughout Jaclyn's journey and whether or not I feel that they're supportive to her goals and her relationship with food. Now, I realize that I filmed these way in advance, so there's actually likely a lot more videos in the series since this came out, but there's a lot to unpack in like every single video. So I wanted to share my thoughts on her November 1st video today, Why Am I Gaining Weight? Let's take a look.
I had a small protein shake for breakfast, and then I had a snack, which was a piece of string cheese and some almonds. Jordan is making chicken and rice, and I cannot wait. It smells so good. It's a chicken piccata. It's like my favorite recipe. We make it probably like once or twice a week at this point. I'll show you the beauty when he's done. My God. It's lemon chicken piccata with basmati rice, arrowroot starch instead of flour. Eating healthy can be amazing.
So first of all, I am disappointed that she's gone all day with basically just a small snack. Like that is typically a setup for a binge. So I would really love to see some more regular meal spacing here, but I do want to give the girl props on her dinner here. Let's just take a moment to think back to when I first reviewed Jaclyn's diet in my video right here. Like the girl seemed to exclusively live off chicken and vegetables and quite frankly hated it. There was no joy, no satisfaction, no carbs, just pure obligatory eating for the sake of her diet. But this seems to be something she genuinely loves. Like it's not a cheat, it's not low carb, and it's not good or bad. It's just chicken piccata made by her beau with love. Now, of course, to really optimize this meal as my hunger crushing combo and bulk it up for the satiety factor, I would definitely throw in a side of veggies, but otherwise it looks delish. Is it a substantial enough meal after basically not eating all day? I would say not, but the way that this video runs, it's not like a what I eat in a day, so I have really no idea what she's eating later on in the night to make up for it. As for her comment that the arrowroot powder is kind of healthier than regular flour, I mean, the term healthier is so subjective. Arrowroot has about the same amount of calories and marginally more fiber, but significantly less protein and more carbs than all-purpose flour. Now, it is, however, gluten-free, and if that's something that feels better for Jaclyn, then yes, it could be healthier for her. I don't think it needs a label. I'm just excited to see her find foods that feel better for her digestion and energy levels rather than just choosing foods because they are low cal. And I'm also kind of hoping that if she did just get a little busy and forget to eat all day, that there were some more snacks later on to make up for it. Guess we'll never know.
We came home so starving. We were so hungry that we just ate this. We got tuna poke, it's ahi tuna, and we've just been eating it with seaweed chips, avocado, and sriracha.
Okay, so again, there seems to be a lot of scenarios where we're forgetting to eat or we're letting ourselves get super hungry when we don't have a meal prepared, which often is a recipe for overeating. But I will say that for a meal thrown together while ravenous, this looks pretty awesome.
Awesome.
And also super satisfying, with all the protein and healthy fats in there from the tuna, plus the fat and fiber in the avocado. I mean, most of us bust into the chips on the car ride home from the grocery store when we're really hungry. So this definitely does look a lot more nutritious. But I'd say if she had a little more foresight and wanted to make this like a solid meal, she could turn this into like a poke bowl with some pre-cooked rice and then any leftover veg that she maybe had in the fridge.
I'm about to head over to my mom's house and hang out there for like an hour. She is on this crazy diet right now where she's eating only vegetables, literally only vegetables, and like a protein shake.
I mean, not to call anyone out, but I'm pretty sure...
Are you sure about that?
That isn't that different from what Jaclyn was doing earlier on in the start of this journey. Just saying.
Mom, you guys, let me show you my breakfast. So I made ground turkey. I put some cheese on it and then a soft-boiled egg.
While her mom's veggie and protein shake diet is obviously not sufficient, and she knows that herself, I'm also worried that this also has some glaring gaps. Mainly that we've got no fiber, no carbs, and actually no produce at all. So we are missing out on some vital micronutrients. And actually, micronutrient deficiency is surprisingly common in chronic dieters. One study on obese individuals found that those on reduced calorie diets were almost always micronutrient deficient. So I would definitely make sure to throw some veggies into the stir fry when she's cooking that up, and then pair it with a slice or two of whole grain toast.
I have gotten so many tweets and texts and DMs from friends, family, you guys, everybody, just telling me how much thinner my face has gotten. I haven't really taken the time to actually notice it. So I put side-by-side photos. I just posted it on my Instagram, but I got so choked up because I'm like, oh my God, look at the difference.
First of all, I have no issue with aesthetic goals. So I am super happy for Jaclyn if she's feeling excited about the progress that she can see in the mirror. But I just want to flag that there is a difference between weight loss from caloric restriction and also water weight and inflammation related to food choices. So chronic inflammation from excessive intake of sugar, trans fats, omega-6 fats, salt, alcohol, and processed meat is generally seen in blood work as it relates to chronic disease risk, not so much in your face. There may be some tissue inflammation from food intolerances to something like gluten, but generally, inflammation is an often overused word in the wellness space and is kind of used as a PC term for fat. A more likely explanation for this is just like a reduction in edema, water retention, or puffiness corresponding to a reduction in salt, carbohydrates, and also potentially alcohol.
It already smells so good, you guys. I used bone broth, also 9 grams of protein. I cut up onions, I cut up celery, carrots, frozen green beans. I also used this frozen California blend. I used a couple bags of these. And then I did a giant handful of kale. And I did 2 cans of these diced tomatoes and granite chiles. And then I did a ton of fresh garlic. Just squeeze that right in. Added shredded chicken in it. I just bought a rotisserie chicken.
Okay, while this recipe originally came from Jaclyn's mom's super low-cal all-vegetable diet, I am so happy to see that she bumped up the satisfaction and satiety factor by using bone broth and also chicken for the protein. I also like that she was inspired to make it at home, not because it was low calorie, but because she tried her mom's vegetable soup and said it tasted amazing. That's it. No dichotomizing language about whether the soup was good or bad or diet friendly or anti-inflammatory. Nada. It was just tasty as is, and she knew how to make it even more satisfying for her. The end. Okay, maybe not the end. I mean, it is still a relatively low calorie, low fat, and low carb meal. So ideally, we would want to add in like some pasta or maybe serve it with some bread and olive oil on the side. But I'm happy to hear she's starting to actually enjoy naturally nourishing food and not feel the need to like drag her through something unsatisfying and super just low cal.
I'm going to dinner tonight. All I've had today is 2 eggs and vegetables. It's about 6 o'clock right now.
Yeah, like this is apparently a theme here. And I mean, is this not the same girl who just shamed her mom for only eating vegetables and like a protein shake?
I don't know what the that was.
One, again, under eating in any circumstance is bad news bears, but it's especially dangerous before a night of eating out. Generally speaking, any calories one saves in the day are almost always immediately made up for when you get to the table starving and they set down that delicious looking bread basket.
Their breadsticks are like crap.
I mean, even if it's not delicious, when you're starving, you're gonna wanna eat it all.
How real friends eat. We get 4 different pastas. Yes, and just split the sampler.
So I have no clue exactly how much she ate here. It could have been a completely normal amount of food, and you should be able to dine out even while dieting. But I'm seeing a pattern of not eating very much in the day and then kind of saving all her calories for that evening meal, which is not going to be great for digestion, and potentially, especially when you're eating out, it's very easy to undo any caloric deficit that you may have set for yourself. And this is really no fault of hers. I mean, she's hungry, as you would be if you only had a snack all day. So food is going to taste particularly good. Not that we need any research to know this, but we do have evidence that caloric deprivation, aka being hungry, increases taste sensitivity to both sweet and salty foods, which in turn can result in overeating. And that's definitely what happens to me when I go out to eat if I haven't had anything substantial to eat all day leading up to it.
Making a spring roll, something that I saw on TikTok that looked so good. Use rice paper. I'm using shrimp peppers. This is a green onion, right? I always want to call it a chive. A green onion, avocado, lettuce, cilantro, carrots, rice noodles. I'm a little shook by how good it is, and it's literally just veggies and shrimp. This is so low in calories. This definitely is not enough for me to eat for like a dinner. I would need more than this.
I do love this snack, and also that she just came out and called it a snack, even though it could potentially be a meal if she had enough of them, I suppose. But we got carbs in the rice noodles, fats in the avocado, protein in the shrimp, and then lots of fiber-rich veg. And again, I'm just so happy to hear Jaclyn trying to plan meals and snacks based on nutrient adequacy and eating enough, not just getting by on as few calories as possible. I would love to see her adopt this philosophy for some of the meals and snacks earlier on in the day, not just for getting enough calories at dinner.
I'm officially 13 pounds down, which is crazy. And when I first started this journey, I was doing it just to get healthy, right? But now, like, as weight's coming off of me, I'm feeling so good that I'm almost like on a weight loss journey now. Does that make sense? Like, first it was just I wanted to feel good, but now as I'm losing weight, I'm feeling so good that now I want to lose more weight.
I know it was positioned as something she was doing to feel better at the start, but then what was the point of frequently getting on the scale? Like, what would her weight have to do with her feeling better if that was indeed the goal? I don't mean to call her out, but let's just be honest with ourselves about our intentions here. Now, on the flip side, again, I have nothing against weight loss goals, but I am concerned that when weight loss becomes the primary goal and then weight loss potentially stalls or reverses, that we risk losing motivation to continue health promoting behaviors that initially felt good.
For work today, we use the Mission Carb Balance tortillas just to do like turkey and salami situation. I have 2 hard-boiled eggs, string cheese, and turkey pepperoni.
I'm so happy to see her actually planning snacks as opposed to just kind of forgetting to eat and get really crazy and then only having dinner. And I agree, it's always great to have extra snacks just like in your back pocket or in your purse bag. Just prepped, ready to go so that we can make more mindful decisions about what to eat. And I get that maybe low carb seems to be working for her, but I would still love to see some kind of veggies or fruit in the mix here, because basically everything in that whole kind of snack or meal pack is all pretty low carb.
We're going out to a taco restaurant. I want to have like a pretty good snack before we go. That way when I get there, I'm able just to do something like light and easy. We just whipped up some tuna right here and then we put it on sliced cucumbers.
The girl like preemptively listened to my advice. This is great. Now that protein and fat in there is definitely gonna help take the edge off of her like pre-dinner hunger. So that way, like she said, she can make more mindful decisions at the restaurant.
Something that I feel like is super frustrating that needs to be talked about is I have come across a couple of people in my life in the past 6 weeks or so, who literally make fun of me for making good, healthy choices. The other day, I was with a group of people and there was a snack there that I really, really, really love. But it is so bad for you. There's absolutely no reason I need to be eating it right now. So there was somebody there who literally was taunting me and like grabbing the snack and being like, aren't you jealous? I'm just like, what is this?
So in my last video, I discussed some suggestions for asking her partner, Jordan, for support. But it's really too bad her friends are being such immature dicks. Like if this is something that you're struggling with, know that it's not a you problem, it's a them problem. This is about their own insecurities with food and their bodies. And if I was Jaclyn, if I want to continue to see these friends, I would very respectfully say, I'm trying really hard to eat better and the choices I'm making feel really good to me and my body, but you're making it really hard for me to succeed on this journey. So if you want to enjoy insert snack here, go for it. But please don't tease me for my food choices. And if they honestly can't get on board, I would say just don't invite them over. Like, they sound like total to me.
My scale has gone up 2 pounds in the last 2 days and it's ridiculous. And it makes no sense because I lost 13 pounds doing this exact thing. I haven't been eating anything after dinner, low calories. I've been putting just good food in my body. How can I go up in weight? It's so discouraging. It literally makes me want to quit Jaclyn's journey. It makes me want to stop all of this. It's just like, forget it. Let me just go eat pizza then if I'm just going to be putting on weight. I've literally turned into what I hate because I'm like, stop. People shouldn't be obsessing over the scale. Like, focus on the way you feel, focus on the way you look, focus on the way your jeans are fitting. And I'm like addicted to the scale now and it's like ruining my mood.
Yeah. I really feel for Jaclyn right now, and this is why I don't love setting weight loss as your primary goal, and also why I don't love frequent use of the scale. Because as she said, consistent linear weight loss is not real life. It's not a variable that we can directly control the same way we can directly control maybe our food habits or our activity. Like, there are a lot of confounders at play. So seeing a 2-pound jump doesn't even suggest a plateau necessarily. What I do see here is that the scale is a major trigger for Jaclyn. And I worry that her obsession with it and investment in it may be a catalyst for landing her right back at square one. Like, it puts you in a very very black and white mindset of, well, if I'm not losing, I might as well be gaining, which then triggers an emotional eating episode, which then triggers potential weight gain. And seeing that weight gain again then escalates the emotional eating. Now, while those 2 pounds could be absolutely nothing more than like bathroom habits, what she ate that day, water retention, hormones, etc., I also have to note that your body is going to fight weight loss. It's going to. So even if you're doing all the same things that you did to lose weight, it's not uncommon for weight to creep back on. Now, with all that said, based on what I've seen in this episode, I want to share some recommendations that I would make to a client struggling with these same behaviors and thought patterns. Number 1, get rid of the scale. I mean, the scale is just one tool in the toolbox, and it can be a powerful motivation modulator, but when the number isn't favorable, it's hard not to be pulled down. Instead, I would recommend focusing on improvements to energy levels, digestion, strength, and endurance. I also know that in practice, it's easier said than done, especially if you want to lose weight or fat. So if losing weight or fat continues to be a goal, then I would rather see folks focusing on how clothes make them feel rather than the number on the scale, which, like I said, is just riddled with confounders. Number 2, stand up to the diet danners in your life. I don't like the idea of relying on other people to police our food choices, whether, that's fans or people she actually knows, as we talked about in my last episode. I just think that that's a setup for resentment down the road and possibly a slippery slope for dangerous behaviors if that validation is ever not there. But if people are going to make fun of your choices or purposefully try to sabotage them, let them know how you're feeling. And if they still can't respect your boundaries, tell them to F off, or at least just don't invite them over to eat. Tip number 3, continue to focus on nutritional adequacy and my hunger crushing combos, not just like the lowest calorie or lowest carb options you can get away with. If you enjoy eating low carb, totally fine, you do you, but I would at least make sure you're not skimping out on fiber in your meals and snacks, which will definitely help to boost up satiety and regularity. And tip number 4, do not let yourself get too hungry before dinner, especially before dining out. I would never want anyone to not be able to enjoy meals out with friends, even if we realistically know that those meals are almost always going to be higher in calories than those that are made at home. But focus on nutritional adequacy and having meals and snacks equally spaced throughout the day. And don't forget the pre-dinner hunger crushing combo snack hack to help you arrive at the meal with an appetite, but not hungry enough to eat all the things. So on that note, that is all that I have for you guys today. If you liked it, please be sure to give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below with your thoughts and also what you'd like to see me cover next. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!